What's going on, everyone? Kami here, and the new patch is, well, it's at least announced, and the PTS will be coming out very soon, and there are so many changes. It's like really big. So instead of covering everything they'll be changing in this one video, I'm only going to be covering kind of the general changes, whether that be Battle Pass, the new VGS, new rank season, and a couple other things. Now this means I'll be leaving out the item changes and each champion balance. I'll be covering those in future videos. I just want to give PTS a chance to go live and give me some time to actually play it so I can form a valid opinion on them. I will tell you at first glance, and doing a little bit of Kami math, I will say that honestly, the changes at least to Cauterize and Wrecker doesn't seem like it's going to be that big. It feels like it's going to be about the same. But again, once I get into the PTS and actually have a chance to feel it out, I definitely could form a different opinion. But leaving all those out, there's still a crap ton to cover, so let's dive in. First off, Seris is being added into the free champion rotation. They felt like Seris was a good champion to kind of start off for newer players to get kind of a grasp on the support section. And I agree. I mean, she's relatively easy to pick up, and I like that they added her. Speaking of free champions, Season Pass will be extended through 2020. That's one where you buy and you get like every single champion coming out. Well, any champion coming out in 2020, you'll also get if you purchase the Season Pass, or if you ever purchase it during 2020, you'll get all the ones currently in the game and then the rest of 2020. So that's cool. They're adding in a menu to display credits to see everyone who's ever worked on this game, ever since the beginning. I'm excited to see my man Drybear up on there, front and center. They're also removing the ability to go to third person. I never liked this in the beginning. I know a lot of people down in the comments for a lot of videos when I taunt to peek around the corner, they're just like, hit the third person view. It's easier to do. But I always felt weird, like it just didn't fit in this game. And they're finally removing it. This game at the base was made as a first person perspective, and I like that they're keeping it that way. This next change is something that I'm just like, I didn't know I wanted this until I saw it. Jammies will now lean when turning left or right on their mounts. It's crazy how much more fluid the game feels when you actually see it in action. They're also unlocking all voice packs for champions by default, so you no longer need to purchase them. I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. And when they initially came forth and gave the reason why they made people purchase the voice packs was because they needed money, the fact that they're not doing it kind of gives me high hopes that maybe they don't need money as much. But at the same time, I feel like it's just a necessary evil that they're going to have to do because it was kind of poopy that they did it in the first place. So they need to correct it. And I think that they're going to compensate for that loss of income with another change. I'll go over that in a second. But it's awesome that they're doing that. They're also now giving everybody the emote and spray wheel slots unlocked by default. That's slots 2, 3, and 4 are now unlocked by default. No longer need to purchase them for the spray and emotes. All right, so this next change is one that I am super excited about, and that's revamping the VGS system. I hate the VGS system. There are so many menus to go through, and when I'm in the middle of combat, I just don't have time to do it. I've gotten a little bit better at hitting VER, but I was like, man, I wish I could just hit 2 buttons. Like VR would be much better to retreat, but it's just not possible. Or is it VRR? I don't remember. Well, with this revamp to the VGS system, they're cutting out a lot of unneeded options, ones that just make no sense, and they're making it a lot more contextual. So here's an overview of what the radial menu is going to look like. This is one of the 3 options. You can also go back to the old text menu look, but at the same time, there's still going to be a lot of options deleted, so it'll be a lot less cluttery to navigate through. But this radial menu is supposed to help newer players use it in a much easier. You have a GUI, you have a nice little, you just highlight what you want to say and bam, you do it. Not to mention, you see at the top left where it says need healing / help, you're just going to say help if you need help, but if you're below a certain threshold of health, you'll say need healing. That's just 2 buttons. That's so nice. There's one to go to capture the objective, group up, and also to say your ultimate status, which will either say your ultimate is up if it's up, or it'll say it's down, and it'll also have a little parenthesis at the bottom stating what your percentage is actually at. It's nice to have these quick options for the heat of the battle, so I don't have to navigate through like 3 different menus to say one thing, but you do have the option at the bottom of the radio menu to do silly stuff or things not as important. I like the way that they categorize this, and I think it's a great change to the VGS system. They're also saying that in the future, they'd like to do it where if you say need healing, a little icon will pop up above your head that can only be visible by healers to help them kind of figure out who needs the actual healing. Not to mention the fact that since all the voices are unlocked, when they say need healing, their voice will be in the voice of the champion, so it'll be easier for the healer to know which one it is instead of hearing a need healing. It's like, who? Now, when I talked about the whole them giving you the voice packs at the beginning and hopefully they don't need money as much, well, they are adding in a different avenue of revenue, and that is that players can now have the option to directly purchase music, packs, avatars, sprays, death stamps, announcer packs, all the shebang. And this will be for like the old content. Like they said, at least a year old. They don't want to give the ability to buy these things directly if they're unlockable through the battle pass, because they want to make sure that the players feel rewarded for going through the battle pass and getting those skins, and people can't just purchase them. But I think a lot of people would agree that, if you're going to buy a skin and you could either spend 100 crystals on a chest and there's 10 options, you just want one thing out of there. You're like, I don't want to spend 1,000 crystals but I would totally spend like 250 crystals just to flat out get that skin. That's awesome that they're adding in the ability, and I hope that they keep updating it and adding to it, because that's going to help them a lot with getting more revenue and making the game better. So let's jump into the battle pass, and I will say already, I love all the changes they're doing to the battle pass too. Starting off, they're removing the daily login, and before people freak out and they're going to be missing out on free crystals, what they're doing is making so you can earn crystals through the free battle pass track instead of having to log in every single day. And actually, if you get all the way through the free battle pass track, you'll end up requiring 50 more crystals than you would just logging in every day. Now there's two ways you can look at this. One, some people like to just log on, maybe play a couple games, not that big of a deal, but they log on every day just to get their stuff. Not being able to do that means they're gonna actually have to play the game. Thing is, battle pass should award people that play their game. That's what developers should be doing, is encouraging their players to play the game, because they're more enticed to buy skins, they become more infatuated with the game, they love it, they can't live without it. So adding in the crystals onto the free battle pass track is a good change to me, but I could see how some people are a little upset because it's gonna force them to actually play the game and they can't just play casually and log in every day. And if you buy the battle pass, you can acquire an additional 150 crystals, netting you a total of 600 crystals, and the battle pass costs 600 crystals, so you get to pay for your entire purchase. And I think that's awesome, and that's what a lot of other games do, and I was always sad that we didn't do that on our side. I like that we got some crystals back, but now that you can pretty much get a lot of your crystals back just from playing the game through the free option, and then paying it all off if you actually get the battle pass, I really like this change. And this will be going off on 2-month cycles, so you have 2 months to get to the max level, which, by the way, the max level is now 80 instead of 100, and you can get to level 80 on the free path. No more get level 50 and then go into the battle pass plus mode only if you're premium and all that crap. They removed that. It's just level 80. Leveling will be consistent through every single level. It won't get harder as you get higher level. I don't know how that's gonna feel. I'm gonna have to try that out and, actually play it and level up. And one thing that will help you level up through your battle pass is now challenges will automatically be unlocked. There's no more tiers, just everything is unlocked. All quote unquote easy challenges will reward you 50k XP, and quote-unquote hard challenges will award you 100k XP. And once you complete 25 of the 50 challenges, you'll receive a title called Local Hero, and once you complete all 50 challenges, you'll get Mr. and Mrs. Realm-wide. Well, 2 titles technically, but you can choose between. Now the Battle Pass has specific rewards, and I don't want to cover all of them, and I'll show you them in-game once I get onto the PTS, but just to give you an overview of the 4 main skins, the first one's going to be Squadron Ash, which is unlocked at the very beginning from the premium track. This is all the pay track, by the way. This is like, if you shipped Ash and Talus, then you'd get a Squadron Ash. It's beautiful. Speaking of Talus, level 10 is coming up with a Wukong Talus, which is kind of Talus, but more just over the top. He's got the sweet beads on his necklace. He's got this long headdress at the top. It looks nice. It looks good. Level 30 though, oh god damn. Soulbriar Grover. Grover has been needing some skins for a while, man. I do not like the majority of the skins from Grover. Like, they're okay, I guess, but look at this thing. It's sweet. Like, I almost want to say this is like my favorite skin in the game right now. Like, he's almost just like a Protoss Grover, like an Archon, but also a tree. Who messes with that? And lastly, the level 40, you'll be getting the Dark Monarch Leon. It's Leon, but like dark elf style. I like a little head thing in the back, kind of like this floating. It looks like it's floating in the picture, but it's attached, and it looks sweet. And there's of course the recolors. I'm not 100% sure what levels you get these. I'm assuming it's 40, then 50, then 70, then 80. The recolored Squadron Ash, the recolored Talus. I do like this one. It's almost like golden. The recolored Grover, and oh my god, both of these Grover skins look so freaking sweet. And then the recolor for Leon, the Death Goddess, I like this one a lot more. I like the color scheme, the contrast between the red and then, her skin, where like the old one was more of a black. This was much more of a brighter contrast. I do like this recolor. And a lot of times with the Battle Pass, sometimes I don't like the recolors as much, but there's usually like one out of the recolors I'm like, that's definitely better. And Leon is the one that I like better out of all the recolors. Now, I said I wasn't gonna cover all the new like sprays or whatever, but there is a new 3D spray, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it and freaking out. I freaked out. Look at this. There's a little clip of Leon doing it. You can like turn it. It looks like she's the barrack. Oh my god. I want it. I will give my firstborn child for this 3D spray. You can quote me on that one. And they also added in the golden barrack skin. It's gold and it's barrack. He's an engineer. Now here's a couple of things that they added that's going to help new players to get more of a grasp on the game, and I think this is a good start, but they still have a lot to do. It states when players reach level 5, they'll receive a new account level quest to build a loadout. Completing this quest will award 50 crystals. Rewarding premium currency for a quest is definitely going to tell people they gotta do it, and it's helping them say, hey, there's loadouts and you can make custom ones, so that's really, really awesome. Not to mention, players that are already level 5 or above will automatically receive this quest, so you can just create a loadout bam, free 50 crystals. And remember that they have new 3 default loadouts at the very top, which you can change, but you cannot delete, because if you delete, it'll reset it back to its normal state. And these new loadouts are going to be better. They're not just going to be 33333. It sounds like that they've talked to some PPL players and some other people to actually form good loadouts that I'm assuming each one would cater towards one of the talents for the champion. And I'm excited to see how well they build the loadouts. I mean, it's subjective to say how well they do, but still interested to see how it goes. Now on to the new ranked. Now it's going to be coming with a soft reset with this ranked. I thought I was going to be doing a hard reset, but it's going to be a soft one. And for season 2 rewards, you'll get new loading frames kind of similar to the one you got from season 1. You got gold, platinum, diamond, master, and grandmaster. And the new rewards for playing 100 ranked games, you'll get a limited title. Don't know what it is. They don't say. It's just limited. And 200 games, the ever-awaited new Eevee skin, the Sweet Shop Eevee skin. This thing is freaking adorable. Giant ice cream cones set up on your staff, blast people, little sprinkles fall off when you're walking around. This thing is freaking adorable. I can't get over it. This alone might actually tempt me to play 200 games in ranked. Maybe. But a really good job by the art team. I love it. Another thing to note about the rank system is that the 2-month cycles are turning into 4-month cycles. Makes it so you don't have to do your placement games as much. You don't feel so rushed to get the split rewards. The maps that will be played in ranked, Warder's Gate and Fish Market, they're now out. So that means Frozen Guard, Shattered Desert, Fish Market, and Warder's Gate will not be played in ranked. I'm super happy to see Fish Market out of the rotation. And Warder's Gate, it's not like I'm gonna miss it, but we now have to deal with Timbermill, and all of us aren't that big of a fan of that map. And Ice Mines, it's okay. And a small change they made about the maps is now they will all have an equal chance to be played. So that's something. And the last general change is probably something that is going to affect a lot of people. If you ever try to load into a game and let's say you choose your champion, you alt tab out, and then the game's like, nah, I'm gonna crash. Fantastic. Log back in, you got a deserter. I'm not talking like desert with that new Eevee skin. I'm talking you can't play the game for like 30 minutes. It's frustrating. Well, they've made slight modifications to make the deserter penalty more forgiving in some circumstances, and I have to imagine that that circumstance has to do with you crashing and getting back in. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but I hope that it becomes a little bit more smart in the sense that if you do crash, it's not going to be as punishing. Fingers crossed. All right, so I didn't really plan on going through Tiberius, but I kind of want to give a quick overview and showing the abilities and what he looks like and all that fun stuff on the stream that they did so people don't have to sift through that 3.5 hour long video to find it. I'm gonna say this right now. People are gonna ask, does he look OP? Does he look fun? 1, he looks fun. 2, I wouldn't say he looks OP, but he looks good. There are a couple of things, and I'll bring it up as I'm going through it. I'm gonna try to fly through this as fast as possible and kind of showing you guys on screen. All of it's pretty simple, but here we go. He's gonna be playing the role of a damage, and he has 2200 health. His left click throws chakrams every 0.7 seconds, and they do 650 damage. And the thing that's cool is you can bounce them off floors, walls, ceilings, if there is one, and they'll do reduced damage. They'll do 500 damage, and they can only bounce twice. You can definitely find some areas to spam down where you just have these bouncing chakrams to try to dodge on top of people shooting you. Pretty good. His ult fire will throw a heavy blade. Yeah, you throw it straight, deals 800 damage if you hit anybody, and it also reduces the movement speed of the enemies by 50% for 2 seconds. That's crazy. The other crazy thing is if you press right click again, you can pull it back to you, and if you hit anybody on the way back, you'll do 500 damage, resulting in a total of 1300 damage. The callback won't reduce the enemy's movement speed, but it's still good damage. And you can call this back anywhere on the map. It goes through walls, it goes through everything. His movement ability kind of just launches him forward. There's like a 0.5 second wind up time, so you have to be a little bit careful with that, but at the same time, it's really nice because you can either do it like straight forward or you can aim straight up and just fly up in the air. So he has vertical mobility as a damage. That is insane. His Q ability puts him in this like combat, well, it's called combat trance, which increases his attack and movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. So instead of him swinging for every 0.7 seconds, he'll swing about every 0.5 seconds, which means his DPS will be about 1300 when his Q ability is up. You then have his ultimate, which you go into this separate mode, like think of kind of maybe hitting Q on Koga, and you're gonna see 5 bubbles that pop up, and these are charges. Your ultimate will end when either you use up all 5 charges or 15 seconds expires. Your left click will just dash forward and do 750 damage. You can also fire this in any direction, so you can aim up if you like. Think of it kind of like the startup of Zen's ultimate. And the right click does this weird thing where you like launch yourself up in the air, you're whirling around in circles, and when you land, you deal 1000 damage to all enemies around you. What's insane, and I think the issue that I'm going to be having with this champion, is that you are immune to incoming damage while you're whirling. So you could just spam your whirl, that's your right click. You can spam it 5 times. That essentially gives you about at least 5 seconds of damage immunity. Seeing it actually in action is really cool, but I don't know if it's going to be quote unquote unquote overpowered. They might have to do something with the damage immunity. I would kind of assume treat it kind of like the Leon's ult and make it so it's not damage immune, but more like 50% damage reduction or something like that. Again, gonna have to try it out to make a final call. His talents, the one he'll be starting off with, allows his chakrams to bounce 2 additional times to a total of 4 times. This might be as annoying as Dredge. His next one, Tigron's Fury, which you unlock at level 2, makes it so when you throw your heavy blade, instead of you calling it back to do 500 damage when you hit the right click again, it instead blows up in a 25 unit area and does 800 damage. So it's more burst on your right click, and it can have the possibility of hitting multiple people. Instead of having to like line people up and have them go directly through, they can just explode. And the last one, level 8, you unlock Vicious Assault, which makes it so your movement ability when you land, you now deal 700 damage upon landing. I don't know, man, looking at the abilities, it almost feels like he should be a flank. Definitely the most mobile damage champion in the game right now, in my opinion. And I don't know if this is confirmed, but if anybody's wondering about the cooldowns of each ability, this is listed on the Reddit page. His right click will have a 12-second cooldown, his movement ability will have a 14-second cooldown, and his Q ability, the one that increases his attack speed and movement speed, will have a 15-second cooldown. So those seem like they're generally within line with everyone else. Maybe a little bit longer. Whew, and that wraps up everything I wanted to cover in this video. There is still a crap ton to cover. I cannot wait until the PTS comes out. I can get my grubby hands on them. I'd love to know what you think about this new patch. I'm mainly curious on the battle pass change. Do you like that you don't have to log in every single time? Or are you bummed out that you can't just log in every day just to get the bonus? And now you actually have to play the game a decent amount. I can definitely see both sides. But for now, I'm gonna head out of here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna be one of those people who asks you to like and subscribe, so I'm not gonna ask.